Right, got a couple little toys in the mail with this new engine mount, which I'm kind of gonna hold off on until I've exhausted all the possibilities. A, because I don't really want to take it all apart, and B, it seems to be just fine. Might be a little wonky in there, but I don't know. As for this guy, I looked and looked and looked, tried to figure out, because I had quarter 20 bolts. I was planning on using quarter 20, and like an idiot, I thought, oh, I'll just use a 1/4-inch drill bit, drill that out, which you saw in the last video, or you didn't see it because you didn't watch it. I wouldn't have watched it all either. A couple people watch it all. Shout out to Misty. So, yeah, I didn't know what to do, so I looked and looked and looked. Kept getting conflicting information, so I asked a machinist of 30 years, and he rattled off a bunch of numbers. I quickly wrote them down, and my lens is dirty. Maybe it wasn't dirty, it just wasn't focusing. Anyways, he yelled out 5/16, number 18, I believe he called it an F. I got the flute tap so it'd go in there a little easier, as far as having a more of a chamfer on the end there. Kind of angled. Focus, you fuck! So I got this guy and this guy. I'm going to start slowly working it into that guy. And I got some different size lengths. I went to the hardware store and I got some different lengths. I believe it was 2.5 and 3-ish, something like that. Anyways, yeah, so I'm going to figure out what I need to do. Start tapping this guy. Hopefully I don't break this. This is a, I believe it was a Bosch. I don't know, it doesn't say now. It says hardened steel. That's all I care about, as long as it's harder than that aluminum. So I'm going to rub a little tap magic on there, drizzle it on, whatever, and get rocking on that. See where I can get to. I took about 5 minutes here, got it going pretty good. Started in there. I feel like I just backed it out a little bit and brushed it off. There you go, starting to get a little tight there. But I feel like I've got a nice, good straight line as opposed to the one before that was coming out the bottom. So I'm going to keep going. I'm basically just going like this, just giving it like 1/8 of a turn, backing it out, like 1/4 of a turn, 1/8 of a turn. I'm going to keep adding that stuff as I go, as needed. A, for the slickness, and B, to keep the metal chips down to a minimum. Oof, that is a nerve-wracking 10 minutes that you didn't get to witness. But I got it down here and I realized I'm about to start hitting my distributor. So I went ahead and marked it again. So that way I'm staying somewhat in electrical timing. And I'm going to loosen these guys up, pull this back a little bit so I have the 1/8 of an inch of clearance that I'm going to need there. And so I was looking down here to see how far down this tap goes. I started to felt like I was going into the second level there, so I wanted to see where I was at. And it looks like I was pretty much, where the hell am I? There we go. You can see that second level where it's tapping out down there. Yeah, right there. That's where I'm starting to hit. So I'm thinking that I might need, yeah, but that tap looks real nice. I don't know how well you can, let me give you a total spinnies here. Had a nice tap in there. That thing worked good, as well it should. So I'm going to try and see how far down I can get into the second one here. I'm going to add some more. I wanted to pull this out and clean it all off. There was a lot on there as far as metal chips. I'm going to clean that off, add a little bit more tap magic, and see if I can't get into the second level. So I was just about to back it all the way back out and clean out the chips. You can see them starting to form there pretty good. But that's where I'm at as far as depth-wise goes. I figured I'd show that real quick before I pulled it all the way back out. Yeah, just got it back out. You can see, I feel like most of that is oil because I just cleaned it. Well, not oil, you know what I mean. It's glunky. But yeah, so I'm just going to keep going. Doing 1/8 of a turn, about this much, and then about 1/4 of a turn back. and then do about 1/8 of a turn, and then do about a 1/4 turn back. It's slow, but I mean, I want this to be right this time and not keep messing it up. So what I'm looking at here is I'm starting to get into it. You can see the gray part on above the threads there where it's not so shiny anymore. That's kind of where I'm bottoming out inside the other one. It looks like it's starting to go in there, but I'm catching on the top. I can tell that easily because of the lack of threads on the top part there. So you can see how it's unthreaded and then goes to threaded. Basically what I'm doing is just wiping away the threads with this part right here that you can't see. That part is just kind of erasing the threading that I put on the top, which is leading me to believe that, and you just saw how far down it went, which is about to the top of my fingernail there. So the bolt that I put in there might catch it a little bit, but I'm thinking that it's going to be not enough. If you look at this bolt here, so I'm going to need to get up to here, and it's bottoming out about there. So I've still got approximately to the left of this bolt that much farther to go. But like I said, I'm just kind of erasing those top ones at this point. Grab my flashlight and see if I can't peek in there. It looks like it's going down all the way. There might be a bit of a ledge there, but I want to see if I can't clean that out a little bit. Get a Q-tip in there. Let's see if, good Lord willing. Yeah, you can kind of see that, right? Yeesh. Yeah, you can see where it's just literally ripping it right off the, which is fine because it's the shank on there is this part of the bolt don't need to be threaded none. So, but my hope is that I can get down in there without having to take the rocker arm back off again. I don't know if that's going to be a possibility, but you know, I can cross my fingers and hope all I want. We'll see. Alright, so I don't think I'm going to have to take the rocker arm off, because sticking this Q-tip in there, bottoming it out, I stuck a toothpick in there to see where that little hole where I off-tapped it earlier. Sticking that guy in there, it's got quite a bit of meat on it. If I hold on to it, pull it out, my finger there is where the, so like right here is all the deeper it is. If I compare that to one of the original bolts, what I thought was one of the original bolts, it's about the same. But then when I compare it to the original, what I thought was the original bolt, to the actual original bolt, you can see the shank on it is much higher up. So I think I'm actually bottoming out. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to have to take the rocker arm off. I'm going to go ahead and rethread this and clean that out. Clean it out a couple more times, run the thread tap or the tapper back down in there. Putting extra grease right here. And then I think I'm going to have to either go to the store and get another one of these bolts, but you know, even smaller. Mark this one where I need it, bring it with me, and then figure out from there what size I'm going to need. But yeah, so I'm going to clean this guy out and retap it again real quick. Put a bunch of regular motor oil in there and just stuck this dude in. Stuck that guy in there and came out with all this loveliness. Just first try. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that where it belongs. And let's try it again here real quick. This time I'll do it live in front of you. You can see what I'm pulling out of there. Yeah, so I'm just gonna keep doing that till it keeps coming up, or till it comes up clean rather. Sparkly on sparkly. Got a bunch out that time. That was the third one. Dang. Yeah, let's keep going, keep going. Hey, you can get a better idea what's going on now. A little bit by Little bit by little bit, if I can get this stupid thing to focus. Focus. Yeah. I'm really cleaned out. I mean, I went through these guys, a bunch of them, and every one of them came up with a lot. Then I actually blew it out with a little bit of this duster stuff. It's funny, I blew it and then a little tiny shard came flying straight up, right past my eye and hit me right in the top of the ear. Just caught the inside of the top of my ear and it kind of hurt. Kind of hurt a little bit. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and run the tap back in there. So I actually ended up getting like another good 3.5 full turns out of that. You can really see by the black grease mark there just how far down I've got it now. And compared to distance to this bolt here, that's about where I'm at on that guy. And if you match up the grease to the bottom of the head there, so I might actually, I've got a bunch of these varying lengths and whatnot. So I think I'm going to take one of these, give it the old college try, and use the Dremel there. Cut this guy down, mark it off and cut it down a little bit. See if I can't get that sumbitch to catch on there. A little bit more cleaning out. I did not think I was going to be able to get any more. I was basically just like trying to figure out the tap there, but I don't know if you can tell. You can see light through the bottom of that sumbitch. It is almost tapped through and through. But like I said, that one came at an angle. You can see from like here, it's a little bit bigger as opposed to straight down where it should be. So I'm gonna clean that out a little bit, run some more dust busters through there, and it says moisture free, but it has moisture to it. Yeah, run a Q-tip down there a couple more times and see if I can't throw a bolt in there and mark it off. All right, that's where that is. That is pretty much bottomed out. I don't know if it's bottoming out because of the shank or if it's bottoming out because of the bottom. So I'm gonna mark it. I got my piece of pen here, my little long and thin guy. I'm gonna mark this guy and pull that back out and see where it's. Alright, so I just ran the tap all the way down again and it is not gonna tap anymore. I know for a fact. It might if I feel like breaking it, but it's to the point where it's not gonna, no matter what I do. So I marked it the same way with the pen that I just did with the bolt. So now I'm gonna pull this guy off of here and see if I am in fact hitting. Well, I don't know what the fuck to expect. You can see the mark there. Of course it's right on the thing, so I can't set it down proper. Bastard. Which one are you? Where'd it go? What did I do? Cover that up because that will dry out. What did I do with that bolt? Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see bolt it's not going as far. You can see that the threading, the shank right there is lining up with the mark. So what I need to do is get one. I don't even know why I bothered to get them with the shank. It's pretty much worthless now at like $2 a pop. So I have to go to the store and get myself some, what is this again? 5/16, 18 yabba without the shank on it, full thread, or at least thread all the way up. Or what I'm going to do is bring the tap with me so I know exactly how far down I can go, etc, etc. So that kind of puts a dead end in that sucker for right now. I feel good about it though. I feel like I'm going to be able to get that sucker in there. I'm going to buy 2. I might buy 4 of them. I got like the super hardened steel. Yes, it doesn't even have the dashes on there. F593 THE. I don't know what the fuck that means. I'm used to like the 5 bolts or the 3 bolts or the 2 for the hardness. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go down to the store here and grab myself some full threaded, which would appear to be, since I'm bringing my phone, tape measure here. Yeah, I think it's about 2.5 or 1.5. Sorry, I'm reading the 2, thinking out loud. So 1.5 full thread ought to do it. I'm looking at this dude, which is what I thought was the original, and then I thought maybe that was the original. So I think maybe this one was a really long one. I cut it, and then I cut it, and I cut it. I don't know. It's not worth going back and looking at. So yeah, that's what I need. Full threaded, this length, 5/16. Boom. Taking a gander at this, I'm noticing a shitload of brand new oil after I just cleaned all this off. Drove it around about 30-40 blocks. Well, I don't know, maybe 15 miles. I'm driving all over the city. Seen a lot of brand new oil. And I'm pretty sure my big old dang old O-ring that I got on there, forced in there, probably didn't do me any good. But I really feel like I'm honing in on where it's coming from, and I bet it's that fucking O-ring. Which makes me wonder, you know, I've got a bunch of these old distributor parts. I think I got a bunch of these old distributor parts somewhere around here. Yeah, right there. Maybe that has. See, that's got a big old O-ring on it too. Wait, is this thing supposed to have a fucking O-ring on it? I can't remember. I have to look at my. This is metal. I don't know if I have to look at my other one and see if that has that on there or not. But if not, I might switch out this O-ring. Alright, I got some thinking to do. I went to the store, got 4 of these 1.5" 5/16. Give it the old college try here. Oh, well, it seemed to go in pretty good right off. See how well this. Oh, maybe if I wasn't using my left hand. I can use the socket, but I don't think it's going to get in there. It's just going nice and smooth. No resistance. That's good. That's nice. Oh, I'm about 3/4 of the way down. Yeah, I think it's gonna. Oh, it's so close, so close. Oh, nice. Nice. It's getting tight before it's getting all the way down there. That's awesome. That's super awesome. Yeah. It's bottomed out and it didn't even get. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and get some kind of, see what I got as far as getting some kind of socket in there. See if I can't tighten it down. And these Craftsman were too thick, but these old school, I think I don't even know what company they are. Allen. They're Allens. Old 70s. They're my dad's. That one in there, I got in there. The Craftsman wouldn't fit because of the rubbing here, so. But yeah, that's nice and tight. So I'm gonna grab my torque wrench and throw 9 pounds of foot torque on there. I think. I'm gonna double check. Alright, so now that I got that guy on there, I was just putzing around with this dude, and I think I might have got it fixed. Knock on wood. That's close enough to wood. Found the right combination of bolt thread. Basically, it's like this, which are pretty much the same ones that I put in here and on those two. It's basically like this, but about a 1/2 inch longer. And I just kept adding washers and taking them away, trying different thicknesses until I could get it to catch and still do it. It's funny with this one, you see the different thicknesses there. This bottom piece is actually the same as the ones, the OEM ones that are like back here, that gray part. So the same thing as this. So it's got that nice divoted piece of rubber there. And it was funny, took that one off and then it wouldn't. I put this one on originally and it didn't go. It wouldn't catch, or I'd have just a ton. It wouldn't catch, and so I took it off, and then it wouldn't catch. So I put it back on and pushed it down really hard, and finally it caught, and I was able to get about 4 or 5 turns on it. At this point, I'm not really worried about cross-threading because I'd rather cross-thread that guy in there and then get a different thing, because looking at my, remember when I take this off every time, there's a big pool of oil right there. So obviously the gasket wasn't doing its job because, well, it couldn't do its job because that wasn't on there. And looking down there, see a big pool of oil here and a big pool of oil over there. I know where that oil is from. I'm taking care of that via that, and hopefully this will take care of that one. Fingers crossed. I'm not really losing a whole bunch of oil. You can see, just sitting here for a day, I'm doing pretty good on the oil department, so I'm not worried about like not having enough oil in there. I haven't added any. I added a little Merv's mystery oil just to keep it nice, but you can see there's a nice shiny pool down there. And if I follow grab my trusty flashlight, if I follow the pool up there to, you can see on the pulley there, it's kind of wet. Going up to here, where the block meets the head, is kind of wet. And it just kind of gets wetter as it goes up. So I'm hoping that will solve that problem. A little better look at the oil pool here. The car, I pulled the car back, so it was a little farther up. It's not horrible, but it's definitely something I don't like to see. So I've got a nice little 10-mile trip to my buddy's house and 10 miles back. So I'm hoping that maybe that'll give me a good indication of whether or not my fix worked. Everything's tightened down, good to go. Yeah, the last time I did go to the store, I went and ran it up for like 5 minutes, and then came back, drove for a total of about 5 minutes, and the shake was there, but it was only there while the car was warming up. After the car warmed up, it went away. So I am having a hunting idle issue now. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is probably pull the idle air control off and clean it out, even though I just had it all off and cleaned out. Who knows, maybe some rebuild junk got in there or something, I'm not sure. The coolant isn't hazy at all. It's nice and clear. Nothing gross or floating in there. You can see that beautiful blue. You can see the fins down there. So I know that the coolant is good. Just a matter of, and I ran it for a bunch of time while I was idling it with it off, trying to get any air bubbles out. I was tapping all the hoses, doing the best I could. Had the front end raised up a little bit, so I know there's not any air bubbles in there, so I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem might just be maybe it's a little gunked up on the idle air control. I feel like I did clean it out pretty good though during the rebuild. I had bought a new one, but the bolt holes didn't line up, so F all that noise. So yeah, that's gonna be something I'm gonna deal with coming up. There's a couple of things I wanna mess around with. I'm also thinking maybe that idle had something to do with the vacuum leak A and vacuum leak B. I'm hoping that idle, like I said, I'm gonna give this little 10-mile, 20-mile drive here today. Something to try it out. Give it the old college try and see if I see if I didn't fix it. If I didn't fix it, then I'll deal with the idle air control. But for now, yeah, I still got a couple of things I want to do. I've been pushing around this for my dash cam since I hardwired it into the cigarette lighter so that it automatically keys on, or it comes on when I key on the car, as opposed to having to be actually running. I can just key it on. I got a 12 volt to 5 volt converter. I realized the camera runs off 5 volts, so yeah. So I'm going to deal with that. And I also got this guy, I've been meaning to, I keep thinking about it and talking it over with some friends that actually know how to cut wood and deal with it and whatnot. And I got a couple of good ideas as to how to start on this one for the shift knob. I'm interested to sand this wax off and see what I get under there, see what's in there. I'm eager to find the shift knob that is in this piece of wood, get down to it. But yeah, for right now, I'm about ready to just go on a nice little drive and enjoy this beautiful day before we don't have many left. Seems a little smoky out there. Just gave it a nice good wipe, got it super dry for a little before and after. Cleaned up as best I could down in there. Got it nice and dry over here, and then cleaned up down there. Got it nice and dry right there as well. So I know that, or rather I can see if and where something's coming from. So that's my before and after comparison. Nice and dry in there. Yep. Dry, well, it's nice and dry and clean as I wanted to get it. Alright, so after driving around a bunch, it looked like I was getting less oil in the back there, which I definitely was getting less oil back there. You can see how pretty much dry it is, but I'm still leaking down the side, down the middle there, and down the front, which is giving me wet spots up here. I don't know why you can see that, but right here, nice and oily. There we go. And obviously that's transferring over in here. So I'm getting some more, still getting some oil there. So what I'm thinking is, but I'm not getting any more off the front edge of this. So I believe that this guy is doing its job. It's still on there really tight. Really happy about that. So what I'm gonna do, what I think where my oil problem is now, finally and last of all, is the O-ring on the distributor. This guy, on this one I put a bigger one in there. So what I'm going to do is swap out with one of the OEM ones, or that OEM one, with the one that I have on there, and that hopefully that should take care of it. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this guy off and swap the two out. Yeah, you can see what I mean about was being too big. That is a bit of a crushed thing going on here. Let me get that guy off. Yep, that's definitely not the right size. Let me get that guy out. That looks a little bit smaller in diameter and a little bit thinner as well. So I'm gonna get that guy on there. That should hopefully, that's definitely causing some oil leakage for sure. So I'm gonna get this one on. Yeah, it looks a lot more appropriate. So I can see I've got the oil leakage coming off the back here, so I know that's part of the problem, if not the whole problem. Definitely can't hurt to use OEM sized things, right? Alright, got it back on there, got everything cleaned up and dried off, got all the oil wiped down as best I could, so that next time I drive her, I'll be able to figure out if I'm still leaking oil or not. I feel like that's pretty good. I got it down pretty good. I'm hoping that's that for that. Last time I was driving, hit a couple bumps and I was still getting a couple of back here. So what I'm going to do is jack this guy up and probably bring up the shocks just a couple more turns. I feel like I'm super close on that guy, so that's what I'm going to be doing there. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get this guy jacked up a bit. Alright, got him up. Gonna get some light in here and get these guys loosened up and raise them up a little bit more. Alright, just got done raising both sides up. 3 more turns, which brings the total, I believe, to 15 turns from my original. I think it was 64 millimeters or something. But yeah, as you can see, it's getting a little close to the top of the threads there. But hopefully that'll stop my creaking and crawling back here. While I got everything up and off, I'm gonna run around and make sure everything's just nice and tight, all that jazz up in here and whatnot. And yeah, and then I should be able to bring it back down after that, but of course, I like to, while I have everything off, I like to make sure I get as much done down there and take a peek at everything as I can, so we'll see. So everything seems pretty good and tight down here. Nothing moving around. I think that just finding the right height, keep things from rubbing, is what I need. These cars are so low. I don't know how anybody slams these cars and drives them around super slammed. You see some of like the ones in Japan and stuff, and they're an inch off the ground, and I just want to flip it over and see how the hell they're doing it, because, you know, cripes. Yeah, anyways, so the other day when I was backing out, I just remembered something as I was standing up, that these guys, when I was backing out the other morning, didn't work, and I knew they'd been kind of flickery or whatnot, so I have a feeling it might be some of this Jimmy rigged wiring. I couldn't find the I got it back here, got the same thing going on over here. These are the actual power and ground wires coming from, I couldn't figure out which ones were in the loop because of the year difference with the engine harness, because I got the Z6 in there from the 94, 95 Civic, I forget which one it was now. That the engine wire harness was different, so I couldn't figure it out, so I just said screw it, and just ran 2 cables all the way from the sensor all the way back to the lights themselves, and that's where I'm at. And I have a feeling it got pinched somewhere in there, so I'm gonna figure out, I'm gonna wiggle a bunch of wires and see if I can't figure this out. Right, so after about 5 minutes of wiggling around, everything seems nothing crazy. I put it in reverse. The car is in reverse to get the lights to turn on. I have a bit of a battery issue. I have a feeling I know what it is, but I don't really want to get into it on YouTube. So I've got some power going right here. Just a little 12-8 out of the old wall socket. The reason I don't want to get into it on YouTube is because it's a security feature, and I don't talk about security features on my YouTube channel. So, but what I did here was I got a mirror going on, so it flashes over here so I can check up front. And so I went up front to see if he was down in here at my connection. I don't know how well you can see that, but I got this connection right here, and it's soldered right there. The break in the yellow wire is where it's soldered together in both spots. And I was shaking everything and looking at everything, and see if I grab my flashlight here. And I come down to here and I realize that this yellow wire, I'm not sure if you can see that yellow wire right there broke off of its solder point like that. So I'm pretty sure that's my problem, because when I go ahead and wiggle that back and forth, I'm not sure if you can see on the railing back there, but I'm turning the light on and off, off, on, off, on. So I found my reverse problem, which is literally just, I need to resolder that. It's got a big old pool of solder on there, so I might just heat it up. But I think that it's supposed to just slide into that. Because if you look at the other side, which might be hard to do with the camera, it literally just kind of wraps around and tucks under, and it is soldered to the outside of that, but I feel like I can just tuck that guy in and get it there. So I'm gonna see if I can do that. I managed to get that guy in there and bent down over the wire. Let's see if I can show what I did there. Yeah. So I kind of just looped in and then bent it down up against the wire to clip it into place really nice and tight. I bent it with a screwdriver and I wiggled it, and it seems pretty tight enough for now. I got the LEDs rocking pretty bright here, so yeah, another problem at least temporarily solved until I can get some more solder in there and see what's up. Oh, Ed Asner died.
on the 1970s The Mary Tyler Moore.
God, you know, honestly, I thought that guy died a long time ago. Dude was in Caddyshack, wasn't he? Isn't he Judge? I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, so let me see what's up next here. So it's just kind of ticking away. I'm looking for that power leak. It's doing something. So I'm going to try and make sure it's not like stereo. I'm not sure what that is. But it's just slowly draining it. Yeah, I'm gonna try a couple of things here. See if I'm losing or getting power from anything, or I don't know. I don't know. Alright, so I gave up on that for now. I'm not gonna bother with that. But I went to put on this tire. I was like, sweet, just put it on. I went over here, and my tire's gone. Had a damn heart attack thinking it rolled out in the street. Then I remembered I had tucked it safely away over here. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, won't get fooled again. So I'm just gonna let this guy do a little bit of charging. I might have to do this for a while. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'll figure that out later. I don't care, but yeah, as long as I have my tire. So I'm gonna put my tire on and drop it down. And I'm gonna do a little separate video on putting this guy in there. Maybe help some people out with their hardwiring their cameras on. So, alright, so tracing it down, I got that one, and I found it to be this wire, and I have a nice little spot right there where this dude will fit perfectly. So what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and drill a little tap hole and get one of the screws in there, get this guy mounted. Alright, got it all mounted on there. A couple little screws in the side. Way easier said than done. So now I'm going to go ahead and clip my cable, this guy, and run the wires just to their appropriate spots. Alright, so as you can see there, I've got the input power and the output power plugged into their appropriate colors, tied down and screwed on. I believe I'm ready to key on and give it a shot. Alright, if it works, there's a little light that it'll turn on. Really hope that'll work. Oh yeah! Alright, so now I get to test it out and add a little footage onto the end of this. Hopefully this worked. Fuck yeah, it worked! Alright, so I got this guy hardwired in. What I had done was I had hardwired it. I took because it was plugging in directly into the cigarette lighter, and I wanted to be able to utilize some USB plugs on that. So I hardwired it directly to the power and right in there, hardwired it directly to the power and the ground on the back of the outlet, and it didn't work. So what I did was I got this guy and just found the wire, split it, plugged it right in there, and it works perfect. I just tried it all out. Everything is good to go. Yeah, buddy.